Hey guys, it's Greg. Today we're going to talk about why do I need EDR and antivirus? So let's get into that. First of all, you're like, Greg, what is EDR? So EDR is Endpoint Detection and Response. It's a whole category of security. And the reason we're doing this conversation is because a lot of clients, when we first introduce this topic, say, well, that sounds a lot like antivirus. Why do I need to have both of those things? So we're going to demystify that here real quick. So EDR is Endpoint Detection and Response, and it's important to have a good analog for what is this in my business. And I like to think of it as EDR is like a smoke alarm and a fire extinguisher. We do all sorts of things to prevent fires, but in every building in the United States, you have code that says you have to have a smoke alarm and you need to have fire suppression, like a fire extinguisher, within so many feet of all that stuff. And this is sort of that in an IT perspective to protect your digital stuff. We need stuff to be armed and ready if a fire ever does break out. An antivirus is more like that traditional style of wall that we build to keep the bad guys out, or like fire prevention to keep fires from happening. Antivirus is in the analog I like to use is it's a book of definitions, and everything that tries to run on your computer, we go check it against that definitions, like hanging up your picture at the post office to say this guy's wanted. Hey, you look like that guy. Hey, this definition looks like the code you just tried to run. We're going to stop it. So let's go a little bit further. The biggest thing that separates them is antivirus can protect against known attacks because it's using that definitions behavior. We need to be able to define it, to know it, to be able to stop it from executing. Like that idea of the post office. If there's no picture hung up that says Greg's a criminal, he looks like this, we don't know what Greg looks like. We don't know how to protect you. Whereas EDR is this other style of detection that says, I can stop unknown things because it's looking for unusual behavior. To break that down a little further, let's talk about back in the 90s, there was this idea of the Swiss cheese model. And this is something that got talked about a lot during COVID. And it's also a big concept in IT security. And the idea is you want your security to be multiple layers because each layer inherently will have some kind of hole in it where it can get beat, just like Swiss cheese has holes in it. And you can see from the image at some point it is technically possible that all of those holes just happened to line up, and even though you have multiple layers, you got beat. Antivirus is probably one of these layers of cheese that has some holes, but EDR is more like that what if everything got beat? You want somebody watching for unusual behavior inside the club, not just outside the club before you're letting people in. It's kinda like during COVID when people would be like, "Well, why do we need social distancing and wearing masks?" And people would be like, "Why do we need seat belts and airbags?" Well, you need antivirus and EDR because they're doing 2 different things and they work together. EDR will help protect you against zero-day vulnerabilities. If you're familiar with that concept, anytime an announcement comes out that says, "We know that this is a problem, we're ready to fix it, we're trying to get there as fast as we can," well, the bad guys start attacking on day 0 when it gets announced, and it's before we can repair the tools that will now stop those things. Antivirus is really gonna struggle because it's attacking or it's stopping attacks from known exploits. 0 days are inherently unknown. And so what they're looking for is unusual behavior, not just a definition that we can match things to. And then there's also things that are like um, fileless malware attacks is an example of something that I would compare to we've built a wall to keep people from getting in. And now, oh, by the way, we have planes. So I can just fly right over your wall in this cat and mouse game of constantly escalating arms race, if you will. There's always going to be that unknown style of attack or this new thing that's so new that it completely bypasses any sort of system. If it's fileless, there's no definition to even check. It's just completely bypassing antivirus entirely. And so we want to look for things like unusual behavior. Hey, this person doesn't normally download every single contact in our CRM and then send it to their Gmail. That's unusual behavior. I wonder if this is one of my sales guys getting ready to tell us he's leaving and he's taking a book of business with him. Like we can see stuff like that. That's it. You need both. and it's good to have both. Thanks, guys.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.